Captain Quan stood in the center of the massive hall, feeling very small. Around him sat hundreds of alien beings, each one representing a different world in the Galactic Federation. Their seats rose up in circles, making Quan feel like he was standing at the bottom of a bowl. The aliens wore beautiful clothes that seemed to glow and change colors. Quan wore his old work jumpsuit with oil stains on the sleeves. Behind him, a giant screen showed his ship. The Defiant Hope floated in space, and even Quan had to admit it looked terrible. The hull was covered in patches of different metals. Some parts were rusty brown, others were dull gray. The engines were old fusion drives that humanity had barely figured out how to build. 3 weeks ago, Earth didn't even know aliens existed. Now, Quan was trying to prove that humans deserved a place among the stars. "This is your vessel?" asked the Vrelian ambassador. The alien looked like a tall mantis with blue skin. His voice dripped with disgust. "It appears to be constructed from garbage." Laughter echoed through the hall. Quan's face burned with shame, but he kept his expression calm. He had been a naval engineer before first contact. He knew ships. This one was ugly, yes, but it would fly. "It's all we could afford," Quan said simply. "Earth is new to galactic trade. We don't have your advanced technology yet." "Clearly," another alien said. "This one looked like a floating jellyfish made of light. Perhaps humanity should wait another 1,000 years before attempting space travel. Your primitive technology is an embarrassment." More laughter. Quan clenched his fists but said nothing. He needed this contract. Earth needed this contract. The head of the Galactic Trade Council raised one of its many arms. The laughter stopped. The council leader looked like a tree with eyes, its bark-like skin ancient and wise. "The terms are simple," the council leader said. "You will transport medical supplies to the colony world called Threshold. The journey takes 2 weeks through the Outer Rim. If you succeed, Earth will be granted provisional trading rights. If you fail, Earth remains quarantined to your solar system for the next century." "We understand," Quan said. "There is one more detail," the Vrelian ambassador added with a cruel smile. "The Outer Rim is controlled by pirates. Many ships have tried this route. Most do not survive. With your rusty ship, I give you no chance at all." The council chamber erupted in conversation. Some aliens seemed concerned, most seemed amused. They were placing bets, Quan realized, betting on how quickly the humans would die. "I accept the contract," Quan said loudly. The room went quiet. "We'll deliver your medical supplies." 50,000 people will die if those supplies don't arrive in time, the council leader warned. "The plague on Threshold is spreading quickly. Are you certain your ship can make this journey?" Quan thought about his crew waiting on the ship. His sister, Hei, who could fix anything with spare parts and determination. Tay, the fighter pilot who flew like he was dancing. Bo, the weapons expert who never missed. Day, who could hack any system and speak a dozen languages after just 3 weeks of studying alien tech. "We're certain," Quan said. The council leader pressed a button. "The cargo is being loaded now. You have 1 hour to depart. May fortune favor you, Captain Quan of Earth." Quan bowed and left the chamber. Behind him, he heard the aliens laughing again. He heard them calling his ship a flying coffin, calling it a joke, calling humanity too primitive to survive in the real galaxy. Let them laugh, Quan thought. They would see. An hour later, Quan floated through the cargo bay of the Defiant Hope, checking the medical containers. Each one was sealed with alien symbols he was still learning to read. Plague medicine. Enough to save an entire colony world. The weight of responsibility pressed down on him. "All cargo secured," Hayes' voice came through his earpiece. "I'm in the engine room. You need to see this. Brother." Quan pushed off a wall and floated toward the engines. The Defiant Hope was old and ugly, but it was theirs. They had bought it from an alien junkyard for almost all the money Earth could spare. It had been a cargo hauler once, used to move ore between asteroid mines. The previous owners had stripped out most of the good parts before selling it. But Hay had worked magic. She had taken human technology and alien technology and somehow made them work together. The Federation said it was impossible. Different species use different scientific principles, Their tech wasn't compatible. He didn't care what was impossible. She made it work anyway. Quan found his sister in the engine room, surrounded by floating tools and holographic displays. She was 32, 3 years younger than Quan, with short black hair and grease under her fingernails. "Look at this," she said, pointing to the reactor core. "I've been running tests while they loaded cargo. The fusion reactor we built is resonating with the alien antimatter containment field. They're not fighting each other. They're almost harmonizing." "What does that mean?" Quan asked. "I'm not sure yet," Hai admitted, "but I think if I can tune them properly, we might get more power than we planned. A lot more." "How much more?" Hai grinned. "Enough to surprise anyone who thinks we're flying a piece of junk." On the bridge, Tay sat in the pilot's seat, running through pre-flight checks. He was 28, with quick hands and quicker reflexes. He had been South Korea's best fighter pilot before volunteering for the space program. "All systems green," Tay reported. "Well, mostly green. Some are yellow. A few are red, but Hay says to ignore those." "Weapons ready," Bo called from the tactical station. He was a big man, 40 years old with steady hands and a calm voice. "We've got 2 railguns and 1 missile launcher. The aliens think kinetic weapons are primitive. Let's hope they're wrong." "I've plotted our course," Day said from communications. She was the youngest at 25, brilliant with languages and computers. "We'll reach threshold in 13 days if everything goes perfectly." "And if it doesn't?" Quan asked. "Then we improvise," Day said with a slight smile. Quan settled into the captain's chair. Through the view screen, he could see the alien station they were leaving. Thousands of ships docked there, all of them sleek and advanced. The Defiant Hope looked like a mistake floating among masterpieces. "Take us out, Tay," Quan ordered. The ship shuddered as the engines fired. They pulled away from the station slowly, carefully. Quan watched the station shrink behind them. He wondered if any of those aliens were watching. Probably not. They had already dismissed humanity as irrelevant. "Captain," Day said quietly, "I'm picking up transmissions. Multiple sources. They're all talking about us." "What are they saying?" Day hesitated. "They're laughing, taking bets on how soon we'll be destroyed. The pirate Lord Vrax has already intercepted our departure signal. He's telling his fleet that easy prey is coming." The bridge went silent. Everyone knew about Vrax. He controlled the outer rim with an iron fist. His fleet numbered in the hundreds. He had never been defeated. "Let them laugh," Quan said firmly. "Let them bet against us. We're going to show them what humans can do." Tay engaged the faster-than-light drive. The stars stretched into lines, and the Defiant Hope jumped into the unknown. Behind them, the galaxy laughed. Ahead of them, pirates waited. But Quan and his crew were ready. They had something the galaxy didn't understand yet. They had human stubbornness. They had the refusal to quit. And they had a rusty ship that was about to become legend. The journey to Threshold had begun. 3 days into the journey, the alarms started screaming. Quan jerked awake in his quarters, instinct sending him running toward the bridge before his eyes were fully open. He grabbed handholds along the corridor, pulling himself through the ship's low-gravity sections. Emergency lights flashed red. "Report!" he shouted as he reached the bridge. 3 ships dropping out of faster-than-light behind us," Day said, her fingers flying across her console. "They're hailing us. It's pirates." On the view screen, 3 sleek vessels appeared. They were beautiful in a deadly way, all smooth curves and glowing engines. Each one was twice the size of the Defiant Hope. Plasma cannons bristled along their hulls. "Put them through," Quan ordered, sliding into his captain's chair. A face appeared on the screen. The pirate captain looked like a wolf that had learned to walk on 2 legs. Scars crossed his snout, and his eyes gleamed with cruel intelligence. "Human ship," the pirate growled. "You are surrounded and outgunned. Power down your engines and prepare to be boarded. If you cooperate, we might let you live." Quan studied the tactical display. 3 ships, moving into a triangle formation around them. Professional. Experienced. They had done this hundreds of times before. "We're carrying medical supplies for Threshold," Quan said. 50,000 people will die without them. Let us pass." The pirate laughed. Threshold's problems are not my concern. Your cargo will sell nicely on the black market. Power down now, or we will destroy you. The communication cut off. The three pirate ships began closing in, weapons charging. Bright plasma collected in their cannons, ready to fire. Hey, what's our shield status? Quan asked. His sister's voice came through the intercom from engineering. Shields are at full power, but they're not strong. 2 direct hits, maybe 3, and we're finished. These pirates have military-grade weapons. Bo. Weapons. Railguns ready, Bo reported. Missiles loaded. But Captain, their shields will laugh off our kinetic weapons. Everyone knows energy weapons are superior. Everyone knows, Quan repeated quietly. An idea was forming. Tay, how well can you fly this ship? The pilot grinned. Better than anyone alive? Good. Quan pointed at the tactical display. See that asteroid field ahead? Take us in. Full speed. Tay's eyes widened. Captain, at full speed I know what we'll do. Trust me. Full speed. Tay's hands moved across the controls. The Defiant Hope's engines roared to life. The ship surged forward, racing toward a dense field of spinning asteroids. They're following, Day reported. All 3 ships pursuing. Of course they were, Quan thought. Pirates expected their prey to run. They would chase them into the asteroid field, confident in their superior technology. Their shields would protect them. Their sensors would guide them. Their faster ships would catch the clumsy human vessel within minutes. But the pirates didn't understand something important. They didn't understand how humans thought. Galactic ships were built to be efficient. Every system was streamlined, optimized, perfect. No wasted space, no redundancy, no unnecessary weight. It made them fast and powerful, but also fragile. Human ships were built by people who expected things to break. Every system had a backup. Every critical component was over-engineered. The Defiant Hope had triple the structural support it actually needed. It had manual controls alongside computer systems. It had redundant power lines running through the entire ship. The galaxy thought this was primitive and wasteful. They were about to learn it was survival. Entering asteroid field, Tay announced. His voice was calm, but his hands gripped the controls tightly. Space filled with tumbling rocks. Some were small as cars. Others were huge as mountains. They spun and collided, filling the void with deadly debris. Tay flew like he was born to it. The Defiant Hope twisted and rolled, diving between asteroids with meters to spare. Alarms blared warnings, but Tay ignored them. He was using atmospheric flying techniques, treating the asteroids like terrain, using their gravity to sling the ship around corners. Behind them, the pirate ships struggled. They were faster, yes, but less maneuverable. They relied on computer guidance, which calculated the safest path. Tay didn't care about safety. He cared about survival. They're spreading out, Day warned, trying to box us in. Bo, Quan said. Remember what we talked about? Trick shot protocol? Bo smiled grimly. Ready when you are, Captain. Tay, on my mark, full stop and spin us 180. Bo, you'll have 3 seconds. 3 seconds is plenty, Bo said. They flew deeper into the asteroid field. The pirates closed in, plasma cannons glowing brighter. They thought they had the humans trapped. One pirate ship moved above them, one below, one behind. Any second now they would fire, and the Defiant Hope would be vaporized. Mark, Quan shouted. Tay slammed the brakes. Chemical thrusters fired in reverse, stopping the ship's forward momentum in a way that would have torn apart a more delicate vessel. The Defiant Hope spun, swinging its nose back toward the pursuing pirates. Bo fired both railguns. The galaxy thought kinetic weapons were obsolete. Energy weapons could be aimed perfectly, adjusted in flight, and dissipated over distance. Railgun slugs were just dumb chunks of metal flying through space. But dumb metal followed physics. And Bo understood physics very well. The first slug missed the lead pirate ship by meters. But it hit an asteroid behind the ship, and the asteroid exploded from the impact. Fragments sprayed forward, peppering the pirates' shields. The second slug hit another asteroid at an angle. The ricochet sent the metal slug curving through space in an arc the pirates never expected. It tore through the side of their ship, punching through their shield at an impossible angle. The pirate ship's shields were designed to stop energy weapons from the front. They never considered threats from below and behind simultaneously. The slug ripped through the pirate's bridge. Atmosphere vented into space. The ship went dark and began spinning out of control. "One down," Bo said calmly. "Two to go." The remaining pirates scattered, suddenly wary. They had stopped laughing. On the communication channel, Quan could hear them shouting in confusion and fear. "What kind of weapons are those?" one pirate screamed. "Impossible. The calculations. It curved. How did it curve?" Tay was already moving again, diving deeper into the asteroid field. The pirates followed, but more carefully now. They fired plasma bolts, but Tai dodged, using asteroids as cover. "Hey, I need more power to the engines," Quan said. "I'm already giving you everything," Hay replied. "But, wait. I think I can reroute power from life support temporarily. You'll have 3 minutes of extra thrust." "Do it!" The ship surged forward. Tay used the extra power to execute maneuvers that should have been impossible. He spun the ship lengthwise, threading between two asteroids with centimeters to spare. He used the ship's ugly, blocky shape to his advantage, presenting the smallest profile possible while maintaining full thruster control. One pirate ship tried to follow the same path. Its sleek, streamlined hull clipped an asteroid, just a touch, barely a scratch. But at these speeds, barely was enough. The ship tumbled, crashing into another asteroid and exploding in a brilliant flash. "Two down," Day said, her voice tight with tension. The last pirate ship had had enough. It broke off, trying to escape the asteroid field. But Quan wasn't finished. "Tay, pursuit course. Bo, load armor-piercing missiles." "Captain, we only have 6 missiles total," Bo warned. "Then don't miss." Tay chased the fleeing pirate. The enemy ship was faster in open space, but they were still in the asteroid field. Tay used every trick he knew, cutting corners, using gravity assists, pushing the ship beyond its design limits. The Defiant Hope groaned and shuddered, but Hay's over-engineered construction held. Welds that would have snapped in a galactic ship held firm. Redundant systems took over when primary ones failed. They closed the distance. The pirate ship cleared the asteroid field and started to accelerate. "Now or never," Quan said. Bo fired one missile. It streaked through space, its simple chemical propulsion system slower than advanced alien missiles, but reliable, predictable. The pirates' automated defenses shot it down easily. The missile exploded harmlessly. Bo fired a second missile, then a third, fourth, fifth. The pirate shot them all down, laughing now. "Stupid humans! Your primitive weapons!" Bo fired the 6th missile. But the pirates had stopped paying attention. They assumed it was the same as all the others. It wasn't. This one had no warhead. Instead, it was packed with magnets and guidance systems. As it approached, it didn't try to hit the pirate ship. It curved at the last second and attached itself to the ship's hull. "What is—" the pirate began. Bo triggered the magnetic pulse. The missile's magnets, overcharged and unstable, released all their energy at once directly into the pirate ship's hull. Electrical systems fried. The shield generator exploded. The ship went dead in space. Quan watched the disabled pirate vessel drifting. He could destroy it now, end the threat completely. But he didn't. "Day, send them a message. Tell them to warn Vrax. Tell him the humans are coming, and we're not as primitive as he thinks." Day sent the message. The disabled pirate ship didn't respond, but Quan knew they were listening. Tay set course for Threshold once more. The crew was silent, processing what had just happened. They had been in the galaxy for 3 days. They had already fought and won their first battle. "Damage report," Quan asked. "Minor hull stress," Hay reported. "Some burned-out circuits. Nothing I can't fix. But Captain, the reactor." "During the fight, the resonance I mentioned got stronger. The fusion and antimatter systems are synchronizing. I think our ship is learning." "Ships don't learn," Quan said. "Galactic ships don't," Hay corrected. "But ours might be different." In the dark between stars, the Defiant Hope flew onward, carrying its precious cargo toward Threshold. Behind them, one pirate ship drifted, sending a frightened message to Vrax. The message was simple. The humans were more dangerous than anyone thought. 7 days into their journey, halfway to Threshold, Day picked up a distress signal. Quan was in the mess hall, eating reconstituted food that tasted like cardboard, when Day's voice crackled through the intercom. "Captain, we have a situation. There's a civilian transport under attack. 40,000 kilometers off our current course." Quan was moving before she finished speaking. He grabbed the handholds and pulled himself toward the bridge, his meal forgotten. "How many attackers?" "3 pirate cruisers. The civilian ship is Talvarian, no weapons, shields failing. They're broadcasting distress on all frequencies." Quan reached the bridge and checked the tactical display. The detour would add 4 hours to their journey. 4 hours they didn't have. The medical supplies had a timer on them. The plague on Threshold was spreading. Every hour mattered. "Captain," Tay asked quietly, "what are your orders?" Quan looked at his crew. Tay at the helm, Bo at weapons, Day at communications. Through the intercom, he could hear Hay working in engineering. They were all watching him, waiting. "We help them," Quan said. "The mission," Bo began. "We help them," Quan repeated firmly. "We're not pirates. We don't leave people to die." Day smiled slightly. "I was hoping you'd say that." "Tay, intercept course, maximum speed. Day, send a message to the Talvarian ship. Tell them help is coming." The Defiant Hope changed direction, engines burning bright. Quan knew this decision might doom the colony on Threshold. 4 hours could be the difference between delivering the medicine in time or arriving too late. 50,000 people might die because he chose to save strangers. But he knew he was making the right choice. If humanity was going to be part of the galactic community, they had to show what they stood for. They couldn't become the kind of people who calculated lives against schedules. 20 minutes later, the battle came into view. The Talvarian ship was beautiful, all flowing lines and artistic curves. It looked more like a piece of sculpture than a spacecraft. But it was dying. 2 of its 3 engines were dark. Its shields flickered weakly. The 3 pirate ships circled it like sharks, firing at will. "They're toying with it," Bo said with disgust. "They could have destroyed it already. They're enjoying this." "Hail the pirates," Quan ordered. Day opened a channel. A familiar wolf-like face appeared on the screen. Not the same pirate from before, but the same species, the same cruel eyes. "Human ship," the pirate said. "This doesn't concern you. Leave now or join them in death." "Let the civilian ship go," Quan said. "They're no threat to you. They have nothing you want." The pirate laughed. "They have passengers. Talvarians are wealthy. Their families will pay good ransoms. This is business, human. Profitable business." "Last warning," Quan said. "Let them go." "Or what?" The pirate's smile widened. "You'll shoot at us with your primitive weapons. We heard about your lucky fight with our scouts. Luck runs out. We're ready for your tricks now." The communication cut off. The 3 pirate ships turned toward the Defiant Hope, weapons charging. "They're really not letting us pass," Tay said. "Then we go through them," Quan replied. "Hey, I need everything you've got." "Captain, I've been meaning to talk to you about that." Hay's voice came through, excited despite the danger. "The reactor modifications are complete. I've fully integrated our fusion core with the alien antimatter containment. I can give you 10 times our normal power output." 10 times? Quan couldn't believe it. "Are you certain?" "No," Hay admitted. "I'm not certain at all. This could blow us up. The theoretical calculations say it should work, but I've never tested it at full power. The strain on the hull will be extreme." Quan looked at the tactical display. 3 pirate cruisers against 1 rusty human ship. They needed every advantage they could get. "Do it," he ordered. "Full power." Deep in the ship's heart, Hay activated the hybrid reactor. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a deep hum resonated through every deck, every bulkhead, every rivet. It wasn't the sound of machinery. It was something else. Something alive. The lights on the bridge brightened. The displays sharpened. The shields, which had been weak and flickering, suddenly blazed with brilliant energy. "Shield strength at 300% normal," Bo reported, his voice awed. Weapons power increased. Captain, I can fire the railguns twice as fast now and with more force. The engines, Tay said, watching his controls with wide eyes. I've got thrust capacity I didn't even know we had. This ship can move. The pirates saw the change. They saw the human ship suddenly light up with power. They hesitated, uncertain. Then their leader growled orders and they attacked. Plasma bolts filled space. The pirates fired everything they had, certain their military-grade weapons would overwhelm the human vessel. The bolts hit the Defiant Hope's shields and dissipated harmlessly. The shields didn't even flicker. Now it was the humans' turn. Bo, fire at will. Tay, combat pattern Delta. Bo's hands flew across his weapons console. The railguns spoke, firing metal slugs at incredible velocity. But this time, they had more than just momentum. The hybrid reactor fed power into magnetic coils that accelerated the slugs to speeds the weapons had never achieved before. The first slug hit a pirate ship's shield dead center. The shield held for a fraction of a second, then shattered like glass. The slug continued through, punching a hole straight through the ship's hull. Tay was dancing with the stars. The extra power let him push the ship through maneuvers that would have been impossible before. He spun and rolled, making the blocky, ugly Defiant Hope move like a fighter craft. Plasma bolts that should have hit them missed by meters, as Tay predicted and dodged. They're trying to surround us, Day reported. Let them try, Quan said. Bo fired again and again. Each shot was calculated, precise. He used the lessons from the asteroid field, bouncing shots off debris, creating shrapnel clouds, using angles the pirates didn't expect. But now, with the extra power, his weapons hit like hammers. One pirate ship exploded. Another lost its engines and went spinning into the void. The third tried to run, but Tay was faster. He brought the Defiant Hope alongside it, in a pursuit that left even the pirate pilot stunned. Surrender, Quan broadcast. Power down and eject your weapons, or we will destroy you. The pirate ship went dark. Weapons ejected into space. The fight was over. It had taken less than 10 minutes. Quan let out a breath he didn't know he'd been holding. Status of the Talvirian ship? They're stable, Day said. Minimal damage. They're hailing us. A new face appeared on the view screen. She was beautiful, with features that seemed almost human but subtly different. Her skin had a faint luminescence. Her eyes were large and filled with intelligence. She wore robes of deep blue that seemed to shift and flow like water. I am Yuna, captain of the passenger vessel Serenity, she said. Her voice was musical. You saved our lives. We are deeply grateful. We couldn't leave you, Quan said simply. Are your people safe? All passengers are unharmed, thanks to you. But your ship, what you just did should be impossible. May I come aboard? I must see your vessel with my own eyes. Quan hesitated. Letting an alien onto their ship meant revealing their secrets. But Yuna had just been through a traumatic experience. Refusing would be cruel. You're welcome aboard, he said. An hour later, Yuna floated through the Defiant Hope's engineering section, her eyes wide with wonder. Hay showed her the hybrid reactor, explaining how they had combined human and alien technology. This shouldn't work, Yuna kept saying. The principles are incompatible. Human fusion reactions and Xelian antimatter containment use completely different physics. They should interfere with each other, not enhance each other. But they do work, Hai said, unable to hide her pride. I don't fully understand why yet, but every time we use the system, it gets more efficient. It's like the technology is learning, adapting. Yuna was quiet for a long moment, studying the reactor core. Do you know what you've done? She finally asked. Do you understand the implications? We made our ship faster, Hay said with a shrug. No, Yuna said softly. You've broken the galaxy's fundamental rule. For thousands of years, the Federation has maintained that different species' technologies cannot mix. Each race develops along a specific technological path. Talvarians like me use bioorganic systems. The Vrelians use crystalline matrices. Humans use mechanical engineering. We are kept separate because integration is deemed impossible. It's not impossible, Hay said. We did it. Exactly. Yuna looked at Quan. You've proven that the galaxy's entire technological philosophy is wrong. Or worse, that it's been a lie designed to keep species separate and weak. Quan felt a chill. You're saying the Federation deliberately keeps species apart? I'm saying that someone has benefited from this separation for a very long time. Power structures exist because everyone believes they must. You've shown that different technologies can work together, that species can share and combine their knowledge. Yuna smiled. You've given the galaxy proof that cooperation makes us stronger than isolation. Some will celebrate this. Others will see it as a threat. On the bridge, Day interrupted. Captain, I'm picking up long-range transmissions. That pirate we let go earlier? He sent a detailed report to Vrax. Everything about our ship, our weapons, our reactor. Vrax knows we're coming now. How long until we reach threshold? Quan asked. 6 days, Tay replied. But there's a problem. The fastest route goes through the Crimson Nebula. That's Vrax's home territory. He'll be waiting for us, Bo said. Yuna looked at Quan with concern. Vrax commands hundreds of ships. Even with your hybrid technology, you cannot fight them all. We have to try, Quan said. Those people on threshold need this medicine. Yuna was quiet for a moment. Then she reached into her robes and pulled out a small device. This is a Talvarian sensor package. It's the best in the galaxy. Take it. If you're going to face Vrax, you'll need every advantage. We can't ask you, Quan began. You saved my life and the lives of 300 passengers, Yuna interrupted. This is the least I can do. Besides, I want to see what happens when humanity meets Vrax. She smiled. I think the galaxy is about to learn that the age of dismissing species as primitive is over. The Defiant Hope continued toward Threshold, now carrying Talvarian sensor technology alongside its precious medical cargo. The crew knew what awaited them. Vrax and his entire fleet would be ready. But the rusty ship had already proven that impossible wasn't real. They had won fights they should have lost. They had made technology work that shouldn't exist. Now they would face their greatest test yet. The Crimson Nebula filled the view screen like a wall of glowing red fog. Inside that vast cloud of gas and charged particles, Vrax was waiting with his fleet. Quan knew this because Day had intercepted the Pirate Lord's transmissions. Vrax wasn't hiding. He wanted the humans to know he was there. 60 ships on sensors, Day reported, her voice tight. They're arranged in 3 layers, creating a wall across our path. We can't go around. The detour would add 2 days to our journey. Quan looked at the timer display. 4 days and 18 hours until the medicine on threshold expired. They didn't have 2 days to spare. How long can the medicine last? He asked. The containers will keep it viable for exactly 4 days, 23 hours from now, Bo replied, checking the cargo bay monitors. After that, the cure becomes useless. The plague will kill everyone in the colony. Quan did the math in his head. They could reach threshold in 3 days if they went straight through the nebula. But they had to get past Vrax first. Calling all hands, Quan spoke into the ship-wide intercom. We have a decision to make. 60 warships are blocking our path. If we try to go around, 50,000 people die. If we go through, we might die. I need everyone on the bridge in 5 minutes. When the crew gathered, Quan laid out the situation honestly. We can turn back. Earth would understand. We tried our best. No one would blame us for not facing impossible odds. I would blame us, Tay said immediately. We've come this far. We don't quit now. Those people on threshold don't even know we're coming, Hoy added. They don't know 5 humans in a rusty ship are their only hope. We can't fail them. Bo nodded. The odds are bad, but we've beaten bad odds before. Day pulled up a tactical display. I've been analyzing the nebula's composition. It's full of ionized particles and electromagnetic interference. Long-range sensors barely work in there. Communication is difficult. It's a navigation nightmare. Which is why Vrax chose it as his base, Quan said. His ships know how to operate in there. We don't. Actually, Hai said slowly, the nebula might help us. Captain, can we talk privately in engineering? In the engine room, Hai showed Quan her latest discovery. The hybrid reactor was pulsing with a steady rhythm, almost like a heartbeat. Surrounding it were displays showing energy readings that Quan couldn't fully understand. The reactor is fully synchronized now, Hai explained. Human and alien technology working as one system. Every battle, every challenge, it adapts and improves. I've been studying Yuna's sensor package and I had an idea. What if we could weaponize the nebula itself? What do you mean? Hai pulled up a diagram. The nebula is full of charged particles. If we could ionize them further, create cascading electromagnetic pulses, we could disable electronic systems over a wide area. Most galactic ships rely entirely on computers. No computers means no shields, no weapons, no navigation. And our ship? Quan asked. We have manual backups for everything, physical controls, analog systems. All that primitive over-engineering everyone mocked? It means we can still function when their ships go dark. Hay grinned. We can turn their technological advantage into our edge. How do we ionize the nebula? Railgun rounds loaded with reactive compounds. We fire them throughout the nebula in a specific pattern. When they detonate, they trigger a chain reaction. The entire nebula becomes an electromagnetic storm. Quan thought about it. How many rounds do we have? Enough for one attempt. If it doesn't work, we'll be defenseless against 60 ships. And if it does work, then we'll be the only ship in the nebula that can still fight. Quan made his decision. Prepare the rounds. I'll tell the crew. Back on the bridge, Quan explained the plan. It's risky. We're betting everything on one strategy. If it fails, we're done. Better than running, Tay said. If we're going out, let's go out making them remember us. Day, send a message to Earth, Quan ordered. Tell them what we're attempting. If we don't make it, people should know we tried. Day's fingers hesitated over the controls. Captain, if I send that message, the whole galaxy will intercept it. Everyone will be watching. Good, Quan said. Let them watch. Let them see what humans do when faced with impossible odds. Day sent the message. Within minutes, responses came flooding back, not just from Earth but from across the galaxy. Civilians, mostly. People who had heard about the rusty human ship taking on pirates. People who wanted to believe that courage mattered more than technology. Thousands of messages, Day said, surprised. They're cheering for us. On the main screen, a new transmission appeared. It was Vrax himself. The pirate lord was massive, with cybernetic enhancements covering half his body. His eyes glowed with artificial light. Humans, Vrax's voice rumbled like thunder. I am broadcasting this on all galactic frequencies. Billions are watching. They will see you die. They will learn that defying Vrax means death. This rusty ship of yours ends here. Quan stood, facing the screen. You're right that billions are watching, but they won't see us die. They'll see you learn the same lesson the others learned. Humans don't give up. Not ever. You call our ship rusty. Watch it become your tomb. Vrax's smile vanished. Bold words from dead men. Attack. Destroy them. The transmission cut off. Across the nebula, 60 warships began advancing. Here we go, Tay said quietly. Entering the nebula. The Crimson Nebula swallowed them like a living thing. Red clouds pressed against the view screen. Visibility dropped to almost nothing. The ship shook as electromagnetic interference played havoc with the sensors. Vrax's ships are spreading out, Day reported. They're surrounding us. Bo, are the special rounds ready? Quan asked. Ready, Captain. I've calculated the firing pattern. If Hay's theory is correct, we'll create an electromagnetic cascade that sweeps through the entire nebula. And if the theory is wrong? Bo smiled grimly. Then we just wasted our ammunition, and we're about to be destroyed by 60 angry pirates. Fire when ready. Bo's hands danced across the weapons console. The railguns spoke again and again, firing rounds in a complex pattern throughout the nebula. The rounds spread out, penetrating deep into the red clouds. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the nebula lit up. The reactive compounds in the railgun rounds ignited the ionized particles. Energy cascaded from one particle to the next, spreading like wildfire through the gas. Electromagnetic pulses rolled outward in waves, invisible but devastating to electronic systems. All around them, pirate ships went dark, Their shields collapsed. Their weapons powered down. Their navigation systems failed. The sophisticated computers that ran everything on a galactic ship simply shut down, overwhelmed by the electromagnetic interference. But the Defiant Hope kept flying. Tay had switched to manual controls. Bo aimed the weapons using physical targeting systems. Hay kept the reactor running using valves and switches that had backup systems for their backup systems. It worked, Day breathed. All enemy ships are dead in space. Not all of them, Hay warned. Vrax's flagship is still operational. He's got more shielding than the others. On the view screen, cutting through the glowing nebula, came a massive dreadnought. Vrax's personal ship was 3 times larger than the Defiant Hope, bristling with weapons. Its shields flickered but held. He's charging weapons, Bo reported. Multiple plasma cannons. If they all hit us at once, even our shields won't hold. Then we don't let them all hit us, Quan said. Tay, evasive pattern Omega. Stay in the thickest part of the nebula. Use the interference to our advantage. Bo, target his shield generators. Hey, I need maximum power to weapons. The duel began. 2 ships, dancing through the crimson clouds. Vrax's dreadnought was powerful but slow. The Defiant Hope was smaller but could turn faster, dive quicker. Plasma bolts filled the nebula with deadly light. Most missed as Tay threw the ship into spins and rolls that shouldn't have been possible. The few that connected made the shields scream with strain. Bo returned fire, sending railgun slugs hammering into Vrax's shields. Each hit made the shields flicker. Each hit weakened them a little more. His shields are adapting, Bo said with frustration. He's reinforcing the areas where I'm hitting. Then hit somewhere else, Quan ordered. Bo targeted the dreadnought's engines instead. The railgun slugs couldn't penetrate the shields, but the kinetic force still had to go somewhere. It pushed against the huge ship, throwing off its aim. Captain, Hay called from engineering. The hybrid reactor is doing something strange. It's resonating with the nebula's energy. I think it's drawing power from the electromagnetic storm we created. Can you use it? Already am, routing extra power to shields and weapons. But Captain, this is beyond anything I programmed. The reactor is adapting on its own. It's like it's alive. The ship seemed to respond to her words. The lights brightened. The engines hummed with new strength. The shields blazed brighter, Vrax noticed. What are you doing? He roared over the communication channel. Your ship is growing stronger. That's impossible. You keep using that word, Quan replied. We keep proving you wrong. The Defiant Hope pressed the attack. Bo fired again and again, each shot calculated perfectly. He aimed for weak points, for joints where the shields overlapped, for sensors and weapon mounts. One lucky shot destroyed a plasma cannon. Another damaged Vrax's main sensor array. The Pirate Lord was fighting blind now, relying on backup systems. One more shot, Bo said. I need one clear shot at his main reactor and this is over. But Vrax knew it too. The dreadnought stopped evading and charged straight at them, all weapons firing at once. It was a suicide run, hoping to take the humans with him. He's going to ram us, Dai shouted. Tay's hands moved faster than thought. He pulled the ship into a climb, trying to get over the dreadnought. But the massive ship was too close, too fast. They weren't going to make it. Hi, Quan said calmly. Everything you've got. All power to the forward shields, right now. The hybrid reactor screamed, pushing beyond all limits. Energy poured into the forward shields, making them glow like a star. The Defiant Hope and Vrax's dreadnought collided. The shields held. Barely. The impact threw everyone against their restraints. Alarms blared, but they were still alive. And in that moment, pressed against each other, Bo had his shot. Point-blank range. No shields in the way because Vrax had focused everything forward for the ram. Bo fired the railgun straight into Vrax's reactor core. The dreadnought exploded. The blast threw the Defiant Hope tumbling through the nebula. Tay fought to regain control as debris rained against their hull. Warning lights covered every console. Damage report, Quan demanded. Hull intact, Hai reported. Shields down to 20%. Port engine damaged but functional. We're alive. Around them, the disabled pirate ships were drifting, helpless. Without Vrax, without their weapons, They were no longer a threat. Day, send a message to those ships, Quan said. Tell them to go home. Tell them if they ever threaten innocent people again, we'll come back. The Defiant Hope limped out of the Crimson Nebula, battered but victorious. Behind them, 60 pirate ships watched in silence as the rusty human vessel disappeared into the stars, heading for Threshold. The galaxy had watched everything. Billions had seen the impossible happen. The rusty ship had become something else entirely. It had become a symbol. The planet Threshold appeared on the view screen like a blue jewel against the stars. Quan had never seen anything more beautiful. They had made it. Battered, exhausted, running on backup systems and hope, the Defiant Hope had crossed the galaxy and arrived in time. Time to medicine expiration? Quan asked. 8 hours remaining, Bo reported. We made it with time to spare. The crew let out a collective sigh of relief. They had fought pirates, crossed dangerous space, and survived a battle against impossible odds. Now, finally, they could complete their mission. Sir, we're being hailed, Day said. It's the Threshold Colony Administrator. An older woman appeared on the screen. Her face was lined with exhaustion and worry, but her eyes shone with hope. This is Administrator Kim of Threshold Colony. Are you the ship with our medical supplies? We are, Quan confirmed. Captain Quan of Earth's vessel Defiant Hope. We have your plague medicine. The administrator's face crumpled with relief. She pressed her hands to her face, and Quan could see her shoulders shaking. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you. We've lost so many already. Thousands. We thought no one was coming. We thought the Federation had abandoned us. We're here now, Quan said gently. We'll deliver the medicine directly to your medical facilities. Captain, the administrator said, wiping her eyes, the whole galaxy has been watching your journey. We've been following your transmissions, what you did in the Crimson Nebula. You saved our lives, but you also gave the galaxy something it hasn't had in a long time. Hope. 2 hours later, Quan stood in Threshold's main medical center, watching doctors distribute the medicine. Children received injections. The sick began to recover. Lives were being saved right before his eyes. Administrator Kim stood beside him. 50,000 people on this colony. Because of you, they all live. How do we thank you for something like that? You already have, Quan said. Seeing them get better is enough. His communicator buzzed. It was Day. Captain, you need to get back to the ship. The Galactic Federation Council has called an emergency session. They want to speak with you immediately. And sir, there are representatives from 24 different species waiting to talk to us. Everyone wants to meet the humans who defeated Vrax. Back aboard the Defiant Hope, Quan found his bridge crowded with holographic projections. Alien diplomats from across the galaxy filled the space with their images, all talking at once. Day looked overwhelmed. Order, the council leader's voice boomed. The tree-like being appeared on the main screen. Captain Quan, the council has convened to discuss your actions. What you have done has complicated matters. We delivered the medicine, Quan said. That was the contract. You did far more than that, the Vrelian ambassador said. The mantis-like alien who had mocked them at the start now spoke with grudging respect. You defeated the pirate Lord Vrax, who has terrorized the Outer Rim for decades. You demonstrated combat capabilities that defy our understanding. And most significantly, you have proven that hybrid technology is possible. Yuna's hologram appeared among the others. The Council must address the implications of human achievements. For thousands of years, we have believed that different species' technologies cannot integrate. Humanity has proven this false. Some say it is dangerous, another alien added. This one looked like living crystal. If technologies can be combined, it threatens the established order. Some species have power because of their technological monopolies. Sharing could destabilize everything. Or it could make everyone stronger, a different voice said. Quan didn't recognize the species, but they looked like they were made of flowing water. Perhaps we have been kept weak deliberately. Perhaps the restrictions were never about incompatibility. They were about control. The council chamber erupted into argument. Some aliens wanted humanity elevated immediately to full Federation membership. Others demanded Earth be quarantined for a century to study the hybrid technology safely. A few openly suggested destroying Earth before humans could spread their dangerous ideas. Enough, the council leader said. Captain Quan, your sister's discoveries about hybrid technology must be examined. Will you share your findings with the Federation? Quan looked at Hai, who stood beside him on the bridge. She nodded. We'll share everything, Quan said. But not just with the Federation, with everyone. Any species that wants to learn, we'll teach them. Any species that wants to build hybrid ships, we'll help. That could start a war, the Vrelian ambassador warned. Not everyone will welcome this change. Then we'll face that when it comes, Quan said firmly. But we won't hide knowledge that could save lives. We won't keep discoveries secret that could bring species together. The council leader was silent for a long moment. Then the ancient being nodded slowly. The council votes. All in favor of granting Earth provisional membership with a special designation? The vote was close, but it passed. Earth was now part of the Galactic Federation. Not as subjects, but as equals. More than that, humanity was given a unique role. Earth will become the builders of bridges, the council leader announced. You will help species integrate their technologies. You will teach what you have learned. You will be the mediators between different technological philosophies. Over the next 6 months, everything changed. The Defiant Hope docked at a massive orbital shipyard above Earth. Alien engineers and human workers labored side by side, studying Hay's hybrid reactor. The technology was shared freely with any species that wanted it. Some rejected it. Some clung to their traditional ways. But many others eagerly embraced the possibilities. Ships began appearing that combined technologies from multiple species. Vessels that were stronger, faster, and more capable than anything the galaxy had seen before. Not everyone was happy. A splinter group of conservative admirals from various species formed a coalition. They saw hybrid technology as a threat. They plotted in secret, planning to destroy Earth before humanity could change the galaxy too much. But Yuna discovered their plans. She warned Earth and the Council. The conspiracy was exposed before it could act. Some of the conspirators were arrested. Others fled to the far edges of known space. The attempt on Earth's existence had one positive effect, though. It united most of the galaxy behind humanity. Species that had been suspicious now offered friendship. Alliances formed. Trade opened up. And the Defiant Hope was transformed. Quan stood in the shipyard, looking up at his vessel. She barely resembled the rusty freighter they had started with. The hull had been reinforced and expanded. New weapon systems dotted her frame, designed by a coalition of species working together. The engines were marvels of hybrid engineering, combining human fusion, alien antimatter, and technologies from 6 different civilizations. But at her core, the original hull remained. The patches and welds that had been laughed at were preserved, a reminder of where they had started. The hybrid reactor that Hai had built through trial and error was upgraded but not replaced. She's beautiful, Hai said, standing beside her brother. She's a dreadnought now, Quan agreed, the first of a new fleet. The rechristening ceremony was attended by representatives from across the galaxy. The rusty cargo hauler that billions had watched cross the stars to save a colony was now something greater. But she kept her name. I present the Defiant Hope, the council leader announced, flagship of the United Galactic Fleet, first of the hybrid-class vessels, symbol of cooperation and unity. Quan was promoted to admiral. He stood on his new bridge, which was 5 times larger than before, with stations for crew members from multiple species. But his original crew remained at the core. Hay was chief engineering officer, leading a department of 200 engineers from 20 different worlds. Tay commanded a wing of hybrid fighters, teaching pilots from across the galaxy how humans flew. Bo headed tactical operations, developing new combat doctrines that combined the best strategies from all species. Day ran communications and served as diplomatic officer, her gift for languages making her invaluable. Admiral, a young human ensign approached, the fleet is assembled and awaiting your orders. Quan walked to the forward viewport. Outside, hundreds of ships floated in formation. Each one was a collaboration between species. Each one represented the new galaxy that humanity had helped create. Not a galaxy divided by technology and jealousy, but one united by shared knowledge and common purpose. Some ships were primarily human-designed with alien enhancements. Others were alien vessels improved by human engineering. All of them were stronger together than they could have been apart. "Our first mission?" Tay asked from the helm. "The Outer Rim," Quan said, "where pirates still prey on the weak, where colonies still struggle alone. We're going to change that. We're going to protect those who can't protect themselves." "Just like we protected Threshold," Hay said with a smile. "Just like that." The Defiant Hope's engines came to life. The hybrid reactor sang its strange, beautiful song. All across the fleet, other ships powered up, ready to follow the flagship into the unknown. Quan thought back to that day in the council chamber when the aliens had laughed at his rusty ship. He remembered their dismissive words, their cruel jokes, their certainty that humanity would fail. They had been so wrong. The rusty ship hadn't failed. She had become a legend. She had proven that determination mattered more than perfection. That creativity could overcome any technological gap. That courage and hope were more powerful than any weapon. "Fleet," Quan broadcast on all channels. "This is Admiral Quan. Our mission is simple. We explore. We protect. We help those in need. We show the galaxy that cooperation is stronger than division. We prove every day that together we can achieve anything." "The old galaxy believed in limits," he continued, "in barriers between species, in technological walls that couldn't be crossed. We've shown those beliefs were false. Now we show what's possible when those walls come down. Some will resist, some will fight us. Some cannot accept that change is coming. But we move forward anyway, not with conquest, but with example, not with force, but with friendship. This fleet represents every species brave enough to try something new. We are the proof that different people, different technologies, different philosophies can work together. We are the future." Quan paused, looking at his crew. Humans and aliens, working side by side. "Engage!" The Defiant Hope jumped to faster-than-light speed, and the fleet followed. They streaked across the stars, a bright arrow of hope cutting through the darkness. Behind them, Earth spun peacefully, no longer isolated. Ahead of them lay countless worlds waiting to be protected, explored, and befriended. The galaxy had laughed at the rusty ship. Now that ship led a fleet that would reshape civilization itself, not through war or domination, but through proving that the impossible was merely the untried. Admiral Quan sat in his captain's chair and smiled. The journey was far from over. New challenges awaited. New threats would emerge. But he had learned one essential truth. Never underestimate the species that refuses to quit. Never mock the ship that carries hope. And never assume that rusty means weak. Sometimes the rustiest ship becomes the strongest dreadnought. Sometimes the dismissed become the legendary. Sometimes the laughed at change everything. The Defiant Hope and her fleet sailed into the unknown, carrying with them the promise of a better galaxy. A galaxy where bridges were built instead of walls, where cooperation replaced isolation, where every species had something to teach and something to learn. The rusty ship had become a dreadnought, and the dreadnought had become something even greater. It had become hope itself.